Viewer classifications. The following video may include feels. Lots and lots of feels. Classification out of the way and the warnings out of the way. I shall begin the review for Death in Heaven Part 2 of the two-parter. First off, I'd like to say, wow. That finale was jam-packed to the wazoo. And my god, it's just crazy. It really was. There were times where I thought it was a bit rushed, but then again it packed in so much into the finale. It was brilliantly done. Another one for Moffat, really. And again, it was a different tone this time. It was very personal. Yes, it wasn't just the end of the world, but it was very personal for both parties. Very much like season 5 finale with Bandorica Opens and Big Bang. Very much like that. I think it's a good touch to Doctor Who. I mean, you've got several things that were heartbreaking, several things that were clever. Overall, like I said in the first part of the review, it was very well done. Plot, as far as the plot was concerned, Moffat spun a web as he usually does, and hi to my friend Omega, a admin from This Is Gallifrey, Our Childhood, Our Home. Find his page on Facebook, as well as a host of other admins who are also my friends, the other Romana and Razalon. Give their page a big shout and like them, because really, they're the best admins out there, I'm not kidding you. Right. But no, Omega, this one's for you. We had a few discussions about who Clara is, and I knew it. She was, for all intents and purposes, a good companion. Clever though. I found a lot of her lines clever. Really, really clever. And, I can see why the trailer sort of gave a misleading impression about who she was. Because Clara would never do that. We haven't yet met a companion that actually has pulled that trick on the Doctor. Not yet. I mean, sure, the Rani pulled it, but she wasn't a companion. Really, though, the whole episode as a whole, if I could give it as many stars as I liked out of 5, I'd give it 12 stars, because it really just blew me away. And yes, I was crying, as no doubt many of you were as well. Crying at the review, or crying at the video, crying at the episode. Jeez, I'm even, just thinking about it, makes me emotional. It's just one of those really, really special episodes on so many levels. And I'm going to try and narrow it down in this review. So, without further ado, let's begin. Geronimo, and good to see you guys. Another Time Lord. Having said that though, Missy being the Master raises yet another possible future thread which may occur. The Doctor may become female. Now, one example of this was already given in the series. Clara pretending to be the Doctor. Personally, I think she just nailed it in Flatline. As I said in my earlier Flatline review, she absolutely nailed it. With all the lines, quips, she just gets the Doctor completely. And she really became her own entity in this episode. Again, she was completely autonomous, and quite frankly, simply, oh, there are so many words to describe her, but honestly, she was masterful and just simply perfect. She really could have been the Doctor. And, I wouldn't be surprised if that plot thread was brought back again, where a future incarnation of the Doctor, being a female, comes into the Doctor's timeline and, says, hey, I'm you. And, playing with the genders. I think, look, as far as debates are concerned, I'm only going to go into this briefly, but as far as debates are concerned, I think it would be okay to have a female Doctor. Yes, I know there's been a few arguments about, but it can't happen. And I'm not saying that it's sexist to say that either, because I know a lot of people personally that say that aren't sexist at all. And it's not about that. The Doctor, I can understand people's arguments against it, but the Doctor was always primarily a male figure. And if you change that, you change the tone of the series. And there is a risk. There is a risk of it falling flat on its face and going into the dark. But isn't Doctor Who about taking a risk? Like a fundamental risk all the time? It's about renewing itself and changing. I think that was a good thing for Moffat to do. So again, bound to happen. But I think if it was to happen, I think it would have to be the Master turning back into a man and the Doctor becoming a woman. Or could have both. It would be interesting though. We'll see. We'll see in the future. But anyway, that was one question that I had. And it was just really well done on so many levels. And it also brings, on another level, more companions to come, more Time Lords to come back, and Time Ladies. Personally, I would love to see Romana come back, please. Please. Somebody. I mean, there would be several ways you could bring her back. I don't know why she hasn't come back yet. She needs to come back. I'm not going to go into it any further in this review, but she does. She needs to come back. I think she does. And if you think she needs to come back too, comment below, because really, she needs to come back. Okay. Pardon. So, and then we go on to Danny, the entity, the soldier entity. He dies. He dies at the beginning of, at the end of Dark Water, so he's dead. And presumably never to return. Then, as we find out, the Nethersphere isn't in fact the afterlife. It's rather just a computer simulation, which again, it parallels, because Moffat did that before. If you recall, in what were the episode's names? But in the library with the Bashta Narada. The library and a long while ago, and I'm not gonna look it up. I should remember it, but anyway, you guys know the episodes. It was done again, the whole saving people to a hard drive, except done in a different context. I like it. I really do. I like the idea to begin with. It's a really good idea. And Seb, being an AI, yes, he was kind of, I don't know, I like Seb. What did you think? I thought he was a great character in terms of bringing a slightly comical yet sinister element to the Nethersphere. And yeah, you've got Clara coming to terms with, well, not really coming to terms with it at all, but still trying to find Danny and still trying to get him back. And then Unit comes in, into Unit. Unit, I love that much, and oh my god, again, with the references to the Brigadier, foreshadowing what was going to happen later. Oh my god, it made me cry. It was just, there was so many feels in this episode. It really was. Yeah, sorry. Wow. But yeah, no, and then you end up on, then we all end up on a plane after the Doctor has been, well, shall we say, stunned and basically made to be unconscious, knocked out, so to speak. And he ends up on a plane with Missy. Again, okay, you should never, ever allow the Master or any of, well, Missy in this case, you should never allow Missy on a plane. Never. She's too smart. She's a time lady. Just never allow her on a plane. She's too devious too. She could get out in an instant, which she did. And then we came to the death of Osgood. I knew it was going to happen because Osgood's very sweet and very kind, very smart too, but just a little bit naive. During that happened, I thought, no, don't do it. But she did, and she died. I was very saddened by that. I'm pretty sure you all were too. It was just a terrible way to go. Again, bound to happen because Missy is quite insane. And, you know, well, she's just, I wouldn't trust her with a 10-foot pole. In fact, I wouldn't even be in the same room with her. I don't think anybody would. Unless I was a Time Lord myself and I could handle it. But, Jesus. Yeah, it was just, wow. And then we come to the Rain and Cybermen turning themselves into, well, Cybermen blowing themselves up so they can create cyberpollen, which basically manifests as rain, which, again, what does pollen do? It brings things and fertilizes things back to life. And then we come to Danny, who saves Clara again, but he's a Cyberman. Another sad thing when she realizes that she has to, well, when he asks her that, well, to kill him, to kill his emotions, that was a very sad moment. Of course, the Doctor as well is kind of caught up with things on the plane, and he's kind of like, don't do it, because he's had serious, well, he knows what the Cybermen are like, and we all do, and we're all like, no, don't do it, because he'll kill you. But he doesn't. And again, he kills himself. Danny saves the world in this episode, not the Doctor. And I think that's a good point. Throughout this entire series, Moffat has been pushing the angle of, it's up to the human race now. We've seen enough. We know how to deal with these things now, and it's up to us. It's not up to the Doctor anymore. You know, and it just takes the weight off him, because he's, you know, he's an alien, yes, And he's felt older than everybody throughout his entire lifetime, through all of his regenerations. They've all looked up to him. But now they're becoming, all of them are becoming independent entities. And they know how to, and they know how to cope with these sorts of scenarios now. So it's not his responsibility anymore. You know, and sure, it'll take him a while to step back, but it's not. And I think that was a very good point. We are capable of so much. There was just so much, you know, social commentary in this. And again, you know, with going back to the water, cyber water, or, well, cyber pollen, I should say, that was creepy. When those scenes happened, all I could imagine was horror movies. That was creepy. Yeah, it just wasn't good. And yeah. But then, well, the Brigadier comes back as well. That was a good one. Very sad too. Happy, but kind of sad, because, yeah, given the fact that the real actor of the Brigadier has been dead for some time. R.I.P. Really, R.I.P. And it was a nice ode to him as well. In the Who family, you're never forgotten, let's face it. And, yeah. And then, even though, okay, I'll just say, even though Clara's not leaving yet, it's setting up the leaving stage. They did that with Amy Pond. Do you remember, guys? Amy Pond and Rory, they did that at the end of season 6. It's setting up for a goodbye. And it would be fitting, if you were going to do it that way, it would be fitting to end where you started, at Christmas. But it's just going to kill me, because Clara, to me, has been she's been a favourite companion. Probably going to kill a few of you too. So there's more feels coming. But oh God. Very, very sad. Whew. And Danny? Yeah, Danny might come back in the future. There always is a chance he might come back in the future, but I don't think this is... Clara's time is running out on the show. Jenna's time is running out on the show, and yeah, I don't know, I feel kind of sad. So many feels. Alright, and on that note, I'd probably give it, well, as I said, 12 stars out of 5. It was just incredible. There wasn't a single thing wrong with the episode. Not a single thing. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the review, and I'm going to go grab a tissue now, because I still haven't gotten over it. But yeah, I hope you have a good, day or night, depending on which time zone you're in, and see you later.